Indiana Jones is arguably one of the most demanding and beautiful looking games that we have. And we're running it right now on an RTX 5090 with 225 fake frames per second. Yes, we're running right now the frame generation on 4 times, but I'm gonna explore the entire thing with you. Also disable frame generation, use it 2 times, and also go down without it, seeing the raw frames that the 5090 is able to achieve in the same situations. And we're completely deactivating path tracing, ray tracing, to find out how that will look as well. And we're having a look at the input lag too. I cannot visualize this to you guys here, but I can tell you about it because I'm a first-person shooter player all my life, and I'm very sensitive to that thing. So you see path tracing at full ray tracing here. Or full ray tracing at path tracing, rather. DLSS is on at quality, and the DLSS frame generation is at 4 times. So now let's activate the performance data here. The game is in German. I'm enjoying this game in my native tongue, but yeah, normally we're running at 240 FPS. So let's go down to frame generation twice, double frame gen, okay? So you see we immediately dropped the FPS from 240 to 140. Absolutely no change when it comes to response time. You see when I do this, I'm testing the response time, and there is no difference in that. So in my opinion, between 2 times frame gen and 4 times frame gen, you don't really feel a difference. Now, we've disabled DLSS completely and frame generation. That means it's still full ray tracing, path tracing. We have 70 FPS raw frame rate. In 4K, everything maxed in the game. So it is still really well playable, and of course the response time is incredibly good right now without any of these AI tools active. With those AI tools active, the responsiveness goes down slightly, but not tremendously. It is a little bit of a go down. And now we have, without DLSS and without frame gen, no ray tracing. 140 FPS, the game still looks fantastic. Let's make a little comparison between with and without. You see it here? Of course, the full ray tracing looks a lot more natural in how the colors come out and how the lighting behaves. But it still looks fantastic even without it, I think, and you run 150 FPS raw frame rate without frame generation when you turn off the ray tracing. So the performance on that 5090 is absolutely insane, and I'm gonna also make a video on how you can tweak and undervolt this thing to make it even more efficient. So we're back at full ray tracing and full frame generation as well. So what do you think about it, my friends? It's a really beautiful game. It feels amazing to play this in such a high level of graphics. And run it so fluidly. And since, as you have seen, the raw frame rate is about 70, 65, yeah, that means we have a really short input delay. It's very responsive, even with the AI tools on. I have not seen any annoying artifacting at all. If you really pay attention to it, you can certainly find some moments, but if you just play the game and enjoy it, in HDR here, by the way, that's why it might look a little bright for you. On my monitor or TV, it was a little better. It just runs fantastic. I never saw any annoying artifacting, glitching from the frame gen. So that AI tool stuff really works. But the problem and the downside is, those are not real frames, and they all build on top of your raw performance input delay. So if you have below 30 or 40 FPS, you might end up not having an enjoyable gaming experience, even though the frame rate says something about 150 or 200, right? So keep that in mind. So the video with the undervolting is coming. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video, and Manni signing off. Bye-bye, my friends.